includes just standard clocking in, clocking out. We have what are called digital timesheets. It's a way to be able to get clients who are on, just using Excel to track time to now do it electronically. So we have that as well. We have PTO request management. That's important too. So employees can request their paid time off. And we do have job costing and labor allocations. Now, I say that, and we realize that is not always a fit for every one of your clients. So it's great if the Hub time and attendance system is a fit, but there are extensions to Hub. And one of the extensions that I always get really excited about is the Loft application framework, because this allows third parties to be embedded inside of Hub, giving you those best in breed solutions. So I'm going to use the easiest example because this one's in beta right now, being tested, and it should be available pretty soon, is with Loft, the application framework, Swipe Clock has now embedded inside of Hub. So this will enable the client, the employee, to get all their employee self-service functionality, all that great HR features. Again, the Hub time and attendance may not be a fit for them, but the Swipe Clock system is. But since we have that Loft framework in our extensions, it's now embedded inside there, really giving the employee that single experience. So I always like to, again, talk about the Loft framework because it allows the integration of 401k, of different benefit providers, the advanced time and attendance like a Swipe Clock or an AOD, and that's fantastic. I'm going to touch a little bit on Hub Rewards here in a minute, but also Flight is a component of Hub that you can use. This is our paperless employee onboarding extension from Hub. So with Flight, the employee onboards themselves. They enter in their demographic information. They fill out their W-4s, their state W-4s, any documentation that the client would like the employee to review and sign. They put in their emergency contacts and all that great stuff, and it all gets directly integrated and sent over to M3 via the interface that Aaron Baker has built. So in that case, when you're using Flight, the employee has a single system that they utilize from moment of hire to the moment of termination. There's nowhere else they need to go. You're offering them that single employee platform. And in this case, the direct integration with M3 is key. So when we look at Hub and we talk about some of the key benefits, it's the single user logon, right? We have ESS, HR, timekeeping, onboarding, benefits, everything under a single user login. And because we have that Loft application framework, if there's something Hub doesn't have, there could be a third-party vendor that might be filling that void with a Loft app that can sit inside of it. We're really proud that Hub is very proactive. So we send out a lot of notifications to employees to keep them in the know, whether it's, hey, you're paid, here's your pay stub. And I think the key here is we wait until check date. That's important, right? We don't give the employee access to their pay stub immediately when the payroll processes. We wait until check date. The other big thing is Hub has text message notifications through our push product, which is fantastic, right? So the employee can write on their phone the morning of check date, and again, I'm stressing check date, can get an alert that tells them this is your net pay and this is what's going to be deposited into your bank account. Huge advantage that you have offering that. Hub has free iPhone and Android apps, and that's really key too, right? Everyone's going mobile these days. Well, there are native iPhone and Android apps. They're free. They can be branded. They get to be branded as you. So again, that's something that's great there too. Simple and sexy. These are key points. We really make sure that we keep everything really simple for the employee and make sure the experience is clean and sexy. I mean, really what it comes down to. And I think one of the pieces is there's an automated employee activation process. So once the new employee is added to M3, or better yet, if they went through Flight too, and we need to now activate them, there is an automated process to do that. There's nothing you have to do. There's nothing your team has to do for any of this. The employee gets activated in the Hub immediately. And again, I'm going back to it, but thanks to the integration that Aaron has built, this is what makes it possible. Hub is reliable. Over the last 2 years, we've almost had 100% uptime. Now, I strive for 100. Unfortunately, we're at 99.96, and that's because there were some times when we actually, when some of our upgrades took a little bit longer than we thought, and it maybe took, all aspects of the system down for 5 minutes here or there. But for over 2 years, our average, and this is through a third-party system, so I can show you those reports, is 99.96% uptime. The last piece is, if you work with us, which most of you here do, you know the fanatical level of support our team provides. So that's important because you obviously get that when you offer this to your client. So let's really look at the exciting new features in Hub. And I just wanted to touch on them, the document labels. Every time a document is put into Hub, it can be labeled, whether it's integrated through our flight employee onboarding process, whether the employee is updating a W-4, all these documents can be labeled. And really, this is some HRIS features that come into Hub because then you can filter and search on different labels. We've just recently expanded our Hub Rewards program. For those of you who don't know, Hub Rewards brings to employees of your clients exclusive coupons and discounts to everything. You know, we have coupons out there to StrideRite, to Golfsmith, to the Men's Warehouse, to different, restaurants, to different online retailers. But the employee gets exclusive discounts, and it's a free perk that you can offer them. You can see we have some of these names here too, like an OtterBox, Advanced Auto Parts. We're working with some major cellular providers right now as well to give employees 10, 15, 20% off their cell phone plans. So Hub Rewards is integrated now in the Hub, free employee perk system that your clients' employees can take advantage of. Doesn't cost you or them a dime. Look at the value you're giving them though. And the last is the employee updates, which is what we're going to concentrate on today, because this has been the most requested Hub feature since we rolled out Hub years ago. So we're talking about the ability that an employee can update their address, their W-4, or their direct deposit. And don't worry, there are different levels of controls that we've built inside of here. So maybe some of these you allow, some of these you don't. Maybe even for certain clients, you only allow the address update, but you don't allow the W-4 direct deposit. You can customize this to how you need on a client-by-client level. But let's just walk through what the actual steps are. So for when the employee goes to invoke an update, the first thing we do is to see if the employee has an electronic signature on file. If they don't, we're going to make them create it. So this is an electronic version of the signature. They can do this on their phone. They can do this on an iPad. They can do it on any tablet. They can do it on any PC. And now, once we have that, we're going to use an electronic signature for them when they go to review additional documents. The employee will then get prompted to go and enter their update. So let's just take a W-4. So I see my e-signatures on file. I go and say, okay, well, you know, I have this many, I want to choose this filing status. Here are my number of dependents, blah, 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 blah. Here. Now I submit my W-4 updates. The last thing is, again, I said, so I review them, I submit them for review, and I send them off to my manager for approval. So what we have is, we have this really simple process, and it's 3 steps in this case for the employee to do. So the employee goes through, whether or not we need to have them look to see if their electronic signature is on file. They will then go and enter their information if they want to update. So here you can see we have a quick W-4 sample. Once they complete that, they're going to get to a review step, which will include a signed document. Each of these processes will result in a signed document. Yes, even an address change, we create a signed document that the employee has completed as well. That goes into their virtual file cabinet in Hub. Once they do authorize this and they complete it, it will go to their manager or the payroll administrator for review. So really simple process. It's embedded inside of the system. We even have a nice task dashboard for the employee so they can see, hey, which of these do I have in process? What has been the whole history of all the tasks that I've completed? So we can see the left-hand side shows them what is in progress, how many steps they've completed, whether or not it's been submitted. And the right-hand side will show the employee their complete task history. So this will be able to see, hey, how many times have I updated my W-4? How many times have I updated my address? And I said it before, but it's important for you to know that you can have control over which of these are available to which clients. So it's not like you're going to open this up and every client gets access to this. You can actually roll this out slowly if you want and decide which update capabilities are available to which set of clients. So I think I've done probably enough talking here. What we're going to do now is we're going to hand it over to Aaron Baker. He's going to take control of the screen here, and he can walk you through this process. So Aaron, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, over to you.
Okay, let's make sure I do this right. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. And hello everyone, hope you're doing well this afternoon or morning, wherever you're at. So I'm just going to walk you through the process here, first of all, of an employee logging in and making a change. So I'll just log in. And this is a test system, so it is a little bit slower. Okay, so I just click the little button here, go to update my address, and we'll go ahead and give him a new address. And since I've already got a signature on file, it automatically brings that in. And I save. It's going to give me a confirmation here. So I can view that. I can also view the document that's going to be stored right here in the system. So that's okay. Check the box. Complete. And so now I should get an email to my administrator account, and there it's come in. So here I've gotten a notification that there's a task that is out there ready to review, and I can choose to approve or deny that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out of being an employee, and I'll sign in as a client admin. And so here in my tasks, it shows I've got one that's submitted, ready for review. So I'll go access that. And there's the task that was submitted by the employee. So I can go ahead and review that. And again, here is the document, the same document that the employee viewed. Here's the new address information. And I can either choose to accept or reject. So I'm going to go ahead and authorize that. Okay. And so now that has been approved. And as an employee, I should get an email, and there it is. Let me pull that over so you can see that. Obviously, I had one earlier when I was testing, but so I've gotten an email to my employee email account, and then so now in order for that to come into Millennium, that runs on a schedule, and that can be run on any schedule that you choose. I usually recommend about every 30 minutes to an hour or whatnot. So I'm just going to simulate this scheduled task by just running it manually. So that's going to communicate with the Shugo API. It's found one update, and it's the employee home address update. It's applied it to employee 2. And so we can come in here and refresh this employee, and there's his new information. And it's as simple as that. It's the same process for the W-4 information to update their federal withholding information, and then also with direct deposits. It comes right in and everybody's notified.
Great, Aaron. Now you see everybody's pretty simple and easy, right? Everything in there is integrated. And thank you to Aaron for doing that for all of us, right? I mean, he's the one that's really making the magic work here. We have those APIs which he's able to utilize, and then those updates get pushed right into M3. And again, as long as they're approved, that's the important thing, right? You can set up certain ones to not have to go through an approval process, but most of the time we do feel that that approval process is probably pretty important. So we can see here there's been a bunch of different views that Aaron is giving you both as an administrator and as an employee.
Also, if I could just add for a second, Aaron, since we do have such a captive audience, would you show them the interface in case some folks have yet to see it, and just kind of quickly show the ease of the action within the interface and how that connects
Sure.
both Shugo and M3? Thank you.
So you'll notice when I ran the task here, it also did some other things. It looked for pending new hires. Obviously, there were none found for this test, but if there were, it would have validated that employee data against Millennium. If everything checked out, then it would have imported that employee directly into Millennium with all the information provided. And then on a subsequent round trip, it would link that employee back into Hub with the settings that I'll show you here in just a moment. Then after we grab that information from Shugo, then we send Shugo back information from Millennium. So we update the company, CC levels, earnings, PTO, and then of course we update employees, including PTO balances. And all of that information is updated in Shugo right away and able to be seen in their system. The great thing about the interface, it will also set up an employee, a company, well, and an employee, but a company in Shugo. So once you set it in Millennium and you run the synchronization for the first time, either manually through the interface or through the schedule, if that company does not exist in Shugo, it will set it up for you. And then, of course, any employees that are in the company that are set up properly, those will also go into Shugo automatically. And so as clients and companies hire new employees, those will show up in Shugo automatically. So the management interface here lets you select all of the features and set up on a company by company basis. This is all stored in the Millennium database, so this is shared and stored in one central location. And this allows you to come and turn on and off different features. And also your organizational mapping will let you set up the path for reports to be sent through push, as well as through admin reports through File Guardian. So it will actually set these reports up in Millennium for you with all of the proper pathing and output information so that there's no human error, there's no problem with trying to figure out what goes where. It does it all for you. And then there's some additional settings that can be updated in Millennium, such as if you want to have the vouchers suppressed on the check service and so on. And so you can manually synchronize the data into Shugo from this screen, which essentially does exactly what this does here. You can also import time from their time clock system in Hub and bring that directly into the company into an open batch. And this is the synchronization configuration screen, which is obviously detailed all in the user manual on how to set that up. And then the newest feature is there is a billing module. And so you can actually get your billing from Shugo and have it broken down based on code and then import that directly into billing in Millennium. And you can map it to whichever billing codes that you like, as well as your billing frequency. And so in order to get a company to show up in this list, obviously I just have one, there's just a custom service in Millennium called Shugo. And once you set that up, add it to a company and select the appropriate service level, it shows up in this configuration here, and it will be synced over to Shugo.
I think the coolest thing that I just learned, Aaron, was the billing piece. I know we had those APIs, and that's awesome that they can see they're in use. It's sweet.
Yeah, it's saving people a lot of time.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. Well, hey, this has been great. So what I want to do is I'm just going to grab control real quick, and I want to walk through everybody through one or two more things. And remember, there is the Q&A panel that's in the Zoom window. So if you do have a question, please just type it in there. What we'll be able to do is read it out loud and give you the answers. If it's for me or for Aaron Baker or for Alyssa, just please don't be afraid, don't be shy. Again, I go back to it is the goal that we always have with Hub is to really give that single user experience. So we want to give that experience for the employee from the moment that they're hired to the moment that they're terminated, single user experience. And that's why we have all these products that are available here. So Hub is really inclusive of our push, which is a text message notification, of that law framework. So that third parties like a swipe clock or an AOD or benefit brokers or 401k brokers can be embedded inside. Or Flight, which is the paperless employee onboarding system. So these are all the components that are available to you here. And again, best piece of all is everything is directly integrated with M3. So new hires automatically get added. These employee updates automatically get synced. If your clients are using Hub's time and attendance, it automatically gets sent over to payroll as well. So again, if you have questions, please use the Q&A panel. I did want to spend 1 second again talking about Hub Rewards. This is our employee perk program, completely free for you to be able to use and offer your clients. And it's something that is unique for, especially something millennials really want. They want these special things that their employers can give them. Well, now you have this offering to give to your clients. So it gives employees exclusive offers and discounts. We have national level offers that we have been working on. So we have I think there are about over 100 of them available today. They are categorized, so that's great too. And we're working on some really, really big ones. Like I said, the cellular providers, we're working on some big vacation things like Disney and a few other things to give employees special perks and special discounts for them. Phase 2 is we do plan to allow your clients to submit their own offers into that reward program. So if it's Joe's Pizza Shop or the local tavern down the street, and they want to give, the employees that you service 5% or 10% off of their bill, that's something that we want to be able to do as well. We do have marketing material for this as well, so that's great, and that's perfect. So we can just slap your information right on there, and it's available for you. So I see a couple questions that come in. I see the first one is there a direct link to this recording afterwards? And Alyssa, I know you and I were talking about, were we able to get this recorded?
Yeah, I remembered a couple of minutes after the fact, but a majority of it is recorded.
Okay, so what we'll do then is when we do finish this up, we will post the recording somewhere online, and you can get the link to that as well as the copies of the slides and all. So a question came in, and Aaron, this might be more for you. So I'm not really sure how this works in the MPAY environment, but it says, how will this work if they use Citrix instead of a local install? Will that have any issue in this case? I don't believe so, but I just want to make sure.
Well, it really depends on what type of Citrix hosting situation that's being referred to. If it's the Citrix system that is hosted by MPAY, where you log into MPAY's Citrix servers to manage your database, then this can work, but it would have to be a slightly different setup, because you'd still have to have a local downstream site to synchronize that data, because we have to have access to the database for the utility. Now, if you're hosting the database for your clients on Citrix, then you no doubt have also a local service bureau database, which that's no issue at all. That would be exactly how it was just demonstrated.
So it sounds like no matter what, there are options there. There should be opportunities You would just need to know the specific instance and the
Correct.
hosting environment to be able to identify exactly how we
That's
can move forward.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Well, great. So any other questions, guys? Anything else? Anything about Hub, about Push, Loft? I know I throw all these names out at you. So anything else, give us a shout. Like I said, this is a great opportunity. And obviously, we all know that this is the most important selling time of the year. So the fact that we have this available with this capability is really great. I will tell you, of all the systems we integrate with, M3 is the only system that has direct employee update capabilities 100% today, and that's courtesy of Aaron Baker here. So it's really good to get out of the gate with that, to be the first movers in this. But if not, any other questions, appreciate your time, appreciate Aaron Baker's time. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you all for joining us, and I guess we'll be sure to follow up here with you soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, guys, have a great one.
Much.
You too. Goodbye.
Appreciate you hanging out with us. Be on the lookout for a follow-up from me later today. Thank you. Thank you.